Did you know that cruise ships have hidden adult playgrounds that most passengers never discover? Some of these secret activities could save you serious money, while others might get you permanently banned from ever cruising again. One particular loophole has helped travelers pocket thousands of dollars, but there's a catch that cruise lines desperately hope you never figure out. I'm about to reveal the underground world of adult cruise activities that the industry keeps carefully hidden from mainstream passengers. You booked that gorgeous balcony suite thinking you'd finally have some privacy with your partner. The ocean stretches endlessly in every direction, and that private balcony seems perfect for some intimate moments under the stars. But here's what the cruise lines never mention in their glossy brochures. Those balconies aren't nearly as private as you think they are. Last summer, a couple on a Mediterranean cruise learned this the hard way when security knocked on their door at 2 a.m. Apparently, their romantic evening had become the talk of the neighboring balconies, and multiple noise complaints had reached the guest services desk. What they didn't realize was that sound carries incredibly well across the water, and those balcony walls provide virtually no acoustic privacy. But the real shock comes from something even more invasive. Every single exterior inch of modern cruise ships is monitored by an extensive camera network, and yes, that includes your supposedly private balcony. These aren't just basic security cameras either. The ships use advanced thermal imaging and infrared technology that can capture detailed footage even in complete darkness. Industry insiders report that security teams have seen everything you can imagine, and while they're typically discreet about minor incidents, anything that violates ship policies gets documented and reported immediately. The gambling situation on cruise ships reveals an even darker side of the industry that most passengers never suspect. When I spoke with a professional poker player who refuses to set foot in cruise casinos, he explained something that completely changed my perspective. The moment these ships enter international waters, they operate in a regulatory gray zone where normal gambling oversight simply doesn't exist. Unlike land-based casinos that face strict government monitoring and standardized payout requirements, cruise ship casinos can essentially set whatever odds they choose. Reports from former cruise employees suggest that some ships actually adjust their slot machine algorithms in real time based on passenger spending patterns. One anonymous dealer claimed that during peak gambling hours, the house edge gets quietly increased to maximize profits from passengers who are already committed to playing. The most disturbing part is that these changes happen completely invisibly, with players having no idea that their odds just got significantly worse. This explains why experienced gamblers often report that cruise casino payouts feel noticeably tighter than their land-based counterparts. The social media surveillance happening on cruise ships has reached levels that would surprise most passengers. What seems like innocent vacation fun can quickly turn into a permanent ban from the cruise line, and it's happening more frequently than ever before. Cruise companies now employ dedicated teams that actively monitor social media platforms, searching for posts that mention their ships or show passenger behavior that violates their policies. They use advanced image recognition software that can identify their ships, uniforms, and even specific cabin layouts in passenger photos and videos. One passenger discovered this the hard way when they posted a video showing how they had successfully smuggled alcohol on board using a popular hiding method. Within hours of the post going viral, cruise line security had identified the passenger, reviewed their cabin records, and issued a lifetime ban from the entire cruise line family. The scary part is that this monitoring continues even after passengers return home. Posts made weeks or months after a cruise can still trigger investigations and retroactive penalties. But some passengers have figured out how to use cruise ships for significant financial advantages that the industry would prefer to keep quiet. Medical tourism through cruise ship itineraries has become an underground network among savvy travelers who've discovered that certain port destinations offer prescription medications at fractions of their home country costs. In Mexican ports particularly, pharmacists are authorized to dispense most major medications without requiring doctor prescriptions, and the price differences can be staggering. I know travelers who plan their entire cruise itineraries around these pharmaceutical opportunities. One woman shared that her diabetes medications cost her over $300 monthly in the United States, but she can purchase the exact same prescriptions in Cozumel for under $50. She takes 2 cruises per year and stocks up each time, essentially getting her medications and a vacation for less than she'd normally spend on prescriptions alone. The key is knowing which ports have legitimate pharmacies versus street vendors, and understanding customs regulations for bringing medications back home. The adult entertainment industry has quietly established a significant presence in cruise travel through specialized charter companies that book entire ships for themed voyages. These aren't your typical cruise experiences, and they're deliberately kept separate from mainstream cruise marketing. Companies like Desire Resorts and Temptation Cruises will charter complete ships from major cruise lines, then market these voyages exclusively through adult lifestyle networks and specialized travel agencies. What's fascinating is how these charters work behind the scenes. The cruise lines themselves maintain plausible deniability by technically leasing their ships to third-party companies, who then handle all the adult-themed marketing and passenger selection. During these charters, normal cruise rules get significantly relaxed, and activities happen that would never be permitted on regular sailings. Passengers report that these experiences feel like completely different worlds, with clothing-optional areas, adult entertainment, and social activities that cater to very specific lifestyle preferences. The drinking age loopholes on cruise ships create opportunities that many young adults and their parents don't fully understand. While ships departing from United States ports maintain the 21 drinking age while on board, the situation becomes much more flexible at port destinations. In Caribbean and Mexican ports where the legal drinking age is 18, passengers can legally drink alcohol once they step off the ship, regardless of the onboard restrictions. But there's an even bigger loophole that applies to entire cruise itineraries. Ships operating exclusively in European or Asian waters follow the local drinking age laws, which are typically 18 in most countries. This means that 18-year-old passengers can legally drink throughout their entire cruise experience, not just at ports. Some families specifically choose European itineraries for this reason, allowing their college-age children to participate fully in the cruise social experience. The underground dating scene on cruise ships has developed its own secret language and meeting systems that regular passengers rarely discover. Since traditional dating apps don't function properly on cruise ship internet systems, creative passengers have developed alternative methods for connecting with other singles on board. Beyond the official singles meetups that most ships offer, there are subtle signals and locations that experienced cruise daters use to identify potential connections. The Blue Martini signal has become legendary among frequent cruisers, where ordering this specific drink at certain bars indicates that you're single and open to meeting someone. But there are other codes too, like wearing specific colored accessories or positioning yourself in certain deck areas during particular times. Some passengers report that cruise ship hookup culture can be incredibly intense, precisely because of the limited time frame and confined environment, leading to vacation relationships that might never develop in normal circumstances. Finding adult-friendly cruises without paying premium prices requires knowing when and how to book strategically. While Virgin Voyages offers guaranteed adults-only experiences, their pricing reflects this exclusivity. Smart travelers have discovered that booking mainstream cruise lines during school season can create similar adult-focused environments at significantly lower costs. September through early November and January through March typically see passenger demographics shift dramatically toward adults, with some ships reporting up to 80% fewer children during these periods. The pricing advantages during these times extend beyond just passenger demographics. Cruise lines often reduce their rates during school season because demand decreases, meaning you can get larger cabins and better locations for the same price you'd pay for basic accommodations during peak family travel times. The onboard atmosphere becomes noticeably more sophisticated, with bars and entertainment venues catering more heavily to adult preferences rather than family-friendly programming. Topless sunbathing opportunities still exist on cruise ships, but finding them requires insider knowledge that cruise lines don't advertise. While Virgin Voyages openly markets their topless sunbathing deck, other cruise lines maintain these areas quietly to avoid alienating family-oriented passengers. European cruise lines like Costa and MSC typically offer designated topless areas, but they're often located in less obvious parts of the ship and aren't marked clearly on deck plans. The secret is knowing which crew members to ask and how to phrase your inquiry. Guest services representatives are usually briefed on these policies, but won't volunteer the information unless specifically asked. Some ships have unofficial policies allowing topless sunbathing in certain adult-only areas during specific hours, creating opportunities for passengers who know when and where to look. The most serious risk that could end your cruise vacation immediately involves cannabis and marijuana possession, regardless of your home state's laws or medical prescriptions. Even passengers with valid medical marijuana cards have been removed from ships and banned from cruise lines permanently. The cruise industry operates under maritime law, which supersedes state and even national legislation when it comes to controlled substances. Recent incidents showed just how seriously cruise lines enforce these policies. A passenger with a California medical marijuana card was detained by ship security after cannabis was detected during a random cabin inspection. Despite having legal documentation, he was immediately removed at the next port and faced potential criminal charges in that country's jurisdiction. The cruise line also banned him permanently from all their ships worldwide. The international complications make this risk even more dangerous. When ships dock at foreign ports, passengers carrying cannabis can face arrest and imprisonment under local laws, which are often much more severe than United States penalties. Drug detection dogs are increasingly common at popular cruise ports, and being caught with any amount of cannabis can result in immediate detention and lengthy legal proceedings in foreign courts. Maritime law gives cruise ships extraordinary authority to enforce their own rules regardless of passenger home country laws, and the industry has decided to maintain zero-tolerance policies despite changing legislation worldwide. Until cruise lines officially change these policies, the risks far outweigh any potential benefits, with consequences that can extend far beyond just losing your vacation investment.